Hello, my 2 or 3 followers. Not many, huh? Anyway, I wanted to come back and do a little explaining, like I said, I do each day. I'm supposed to do this. God has put it clear in my mind to talk about this tree. And at the beginning, when it was in the garden, of course, He showed me. But at the beginning, when it was in the garden, and Adam ate of the fruit of this tree, and it was a fruit. It was actual fruit. It tasted good too. What they said, it was a delicious fruit. But what happened is when he ate of this fruit, it caused an infection in this tree, and the infection was going to grow and grow and grow throughout history. And this fifth dimensional tree that has this infection in it, He showed me the infection and showed me how the infection was going through it. God has to set that back right and prune one day this tree. But in the beginning, Adam, when he ate of the tree, the Nephilim came in, Satan infiltrated. We got to know the knowledge of good and evil. We allowed all this through generations, and there was 1,000 years it took for this infiltration to take place. That's when God stepped in and had enough and said He had to stop this at that point, and He got rid of the Nephilim on the earth, caused the flood. It's all in timing and timing. It's in the Bible. But this 1,000-year reign that Satan had, he gave him 1,000 years. Well, if you fast forward, then Jesus comes. Then fast forward, we got Abraham and Jesus, and fast forward till today, Jesus gets his 1,000 years. God showed me this, that when Jesus returns, He will have His 1,000-year reign, because it took 1,000 years for all this to cycle back then, and it's going to take 1,000 years for Jesus to come back and teach us. When He comes back, He's going to teach mankind how to reset this clock and get the tree right and pruned. And there has to happen like this first, is what God showed me. That in this 1,000 years, we will communicate with Jesus around the world and each other, and He will teach us how to get our connections back to God. And so we will learn, like He showed me in my sleep, to communicate with Him and communicate properly. Once we learn to communicate properly over this 1,000-year period, that's why it's a 1,000-year reign, to set everything back right. God showed me that He releases, because I asked, I said, why do you release the devil and his angels again? You know, you could have put him down, and when Jesus returned, he sends them off and sends them into, He doesn't send them to hell. He binds them for 1,000 years so that there's no evil on the earth. They're not able to influence anymore. They're not going to be influencing mankind. The evil will be removed. But remember, that tree hadn't been pruned yet. God's going to have to prune that in the end. That's why the little leaves are all over it, even in the dead branches, because it's connected through time, from ancestry to ancestry, through where we live and where we are. And that's why we're put in certain places, and when we're born in certain places, because He wants that area to stay alive, okay, and the ancestry to pass on, to stay alive, that these leaves I saw were people and our souls, and they're connected to God all the time. All of us are. We're connected to Him. But He wants at the end. He told me that when He returns for the 1,000 years and starts teaching us how to regain our connections to God and how we become more like God. God created us in His image, and we're supposed to do this in the beginning. That He releases the Satan and all his angels for a short time. And it's, you know why? Because Satan laughed at God, and he didn't want to serve us. Satan didn't want to serve us because we had no power. We were mortal. We were in a three-dimensional world, living in a fifth-dimensional existent plane with him, with the tree in the garden. But our world was three-dimensional. We were able to be cut and bled and bleed, and everything was perfect in the garden. But we couldn't travel the universe. We couldn't do the things that the angels do. We're lesser. And Satan didn't like that, and his angels didn't like that. And he convinced them all that that they shouldn't serve us, okay? That's not the way that they wanted it. Well, when God says it is, it is. So in the end, to make things fair, because it's like a court in heaven too, and Satan tries to use everything against God in court because God can't lie. If he speaks it, it's done. And what he wants in the end is beautiful. Check this out. In the very end, after Jesus done taught all of us, the mankind, and we all learn to get our connections back to God and our connection to Jesus, but when he's here, we can communicate with him no matter where we are on earth. But he has princes, and the princes will be on earth, and we'll go to them, just like in the Bible when Moses set aside the 70 elders. It's like that on earth. He has certain people that are going to be in territories, and they will help rule those territories to make things fair and to make things work properly, and give us all, I guess, a sense of being, and it's a sense of order, and it makes things special. And the fallen angels are that way too, and the angels, when they fell, they took over territories. That's why you have principalities of air, and the devil's the principality of air, and we're fighting and battling these spirits in another dimension, and they take over different territories. That's why we have the different fallen angels of the Greek mythology, the Apollo and all this, Zeus, and they were demons that took over. They're fallen angels, and they took over territories on the earth. But in the end, whenever we get to learn this, and once we've got to, Jesus has taken the time and the years it takes, it's going to take a long time to get mankind back right. It'll reset things in the garden. And then when Satan and his fallen angels are released, they're released to come attack us. They are. Jesus said that I come in front in the beginning. So he comes down, he's in front, he's leading the army when he comes back with his saints. And whenever this takes place, and he's got us all trained and got us all back right, and where our communications are right, he's going to stand behind us, not in front. And he's going to say, go. Satan's going to be released. All his angels are going to come as an army to attack all mankind, and there's nothing they can do. Jesus told me, he says, there's nothing they can do. My people will be right. My people will be right back. They'll be right with me. They will be ready. And Satan's going to he's going to be shocked. He's going to come in, because it ain't going to be like the beginning with just Adam in the garden. No. All our people are going to be one, and one accord, and one mind. And all the people together are going to say, leave. You can't do anything. And they're going to freak out. These angels are going to freak out how much power we have. And when we do that, we will cast them out. And then Jesus will bind them in hell. And he will get rid of them forever and ever and ever. And whoever was following them, and all the evil people on this earth who's had a chance, they're going with him, because they don't deserve this. And they're not going to, it can't be, he's not going to let that tree get infected again. He's not going to let it get infected again. And we won't let it get infected again. But this was God's plan from the beginning, to perfect us over a 7,000 year period. God works in numbers. And it was also a way to perfect things in heaven, to prove to the other angels what he created and how wonderful we are, and to prove to Satan that he's fair, in everything. And that's what he showed me, man. We are going to do it together in the end, and that 1,000-year reign is there for a purpose. And it happened in the timing for a purpose, because you got to remember that 1,000 years on earth is a day in heaven. When you get with God and you spend a 24-hour period with God, 1,000 years is done passed on here. So if you just open your mind and realize that Jesus just died 2 days ago. He just died 2 days ago. We are in the 11th hour, the 59-minute, 59-second mark. We got 1 second left, according to God, to get this started and going. And that is now. That's why it says in the Bible, nobody will know the hour, nobody will know the day, but you will know the seasons, and we know it. If you can't see it now with what's going on, Jesus explained it. He said it. He told us that everything would be upside down, everything would be backwards, there would be earthquakes in various places, wars and rumors of wars. That's why everything's happening so fast, because that clock, and we're in the last second, it's going tick, 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 tick. Count 1 second. Here, touch a flash. Boy, it's really a flash in heaven. So Jesus is prepared right now, and he's waiting for the right moment, because there's going to be a great falling away, and things have to happen, and they have to happen in place, and then he's coming. And he's coming. When I say soon, we are in the last second mark, maybe 2 seconds, but we're in the last second. That's how God works. He likes to do everything, and I've noticed in my life and things he showed me. I mean, God showed me about the Trump being in office and everything. I told everybody that he was going to make the capital of Jerusalem, declare it and all that, and within the first year, okay? I was waiting on that one. Everything God showed me came to pass, everything. But I was waiting on that, and I told people, and they're, no, you can't, no, you don't know what you're talking about. They've been doing that, tried that for years. The perfect president's tried, Well, guess what? In the 11th month, almost the 12th month, almost a year, Trump declared it in the last hour. See what I mean? So whenever we get to be 1,000 years, spend 1,000 years here with Jesus, and he's teaching us and teaching mankind, and we're going to teach each other. We're all going to do this together. When Satan gets released back on earth, it's for that reason. The reason is that God's going to show him how powerful his creation is, even in a third dimension. Even as the weak little mortals that we are going to cast him. He won't be able to hurt us. He will not be able to do anything when he comes to attack. His angels and his demons and all his people will come together, and they're going to be shocked. They're going to be shocked. They don't understand this, and they cannot understand this, and they never, but they'll understand it then. And they're going to freak out. And that's why it says it'll be released for a short time. It really isn't. I read it doesn't say a day. It doesn't say only just I'll be in this. When they're released for a short time on earth, that means a day on earth. I mean, that's not a day in heaven. This is when they come to battle us. They're going to freak out and go, we can't do anything. We can't even touch these people. We can't do anything. And it's not you doing it, God, because that's why he's standing behind us. That's why he's standing behind us when we do this, because he wants them to know what his creation is and how wonderful he is and how wonderful we are, and we are created in his image. Anyway, that was what I wanted to say today. That was a daily thing. I'll be bringing out more as days go on, and everybody's going to have to learn this together, because when Jesus returns, if you're on our side and you're with us, it's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. Yeah. It is, because the 1,000-year reign is a 1,000-year reign. And we're going to be looking forward to Satan getting released when this happens. All of us are, so that we can prove God right. And him and all his dominions and all the thousands of fallen angels, however many they are, which there's a bunch. There's a bunch. All of them are going to be cast into the lake of fire for eternity, to never ever, what's the good word, infiltrate and disease mankind again. Those days are gone. And honestly, I can't wait, because we're going to get to see God's creation, not just on earth and how perfect it is, but in the universe.